The plight of migrants and the need for countries to welcome them was part of the message Pope Francis brought to the people of Hungary and Slovakia. The Holy Father is back in Rome after a whirlwind visit to Eastern Europe. And so is Inez San Martin, Rome bureau chief at Crux, who traveled with the Pope and has been updating us along the way. She joins us now. Okay, first, everyone wants to know what the Pope said when he boarded the plane, and it wasn't necessarily all about the trip. I know Francis talked about pro-abortion politicians and the Eucharist. As you know, U.S. bishops are right now considering a document on the Eucharist. So what did he have to say?
He had a lot to say, but if you don't mind, I'd like to take a very short step back to say that everything and anything he had to say is because he was posed questions by journalists. So this is technically perhaps not what he had in mind, but it was what we wanted to hear from him. The question was posed to him by an English-speaking journalist, of course, thinking about President Biden and the ongoing debate right now within the United States. Pope Francis on this was a little bit, he was very unspecific. I would like to say he was very clear on the importance of being pastoral when it comes to this sort of issues. But he was also very clear when he said that those who participate in abortion, those who support abortion, are outside of what he called the community. And by being outside of the community, you cannot receive communion, which of course is a long way of saying you're excommunicated. Even if it's temporarily, you cannot receive communion.
All right, and speaking of safety, Pope Francis was also asked about COVID vaccines. There are some lawsuits over vaccine mandates here in New York. At least one has to do with religious exemptions. So what did the Holy Father say about getting the vaccine?
This was also very important. He said what he has been saying, which is getting vaccinated is an act of love. But he did also acknowledge that there are those who have problems with the vaccine, who have doubts over the vaccines. Now, in his mind, or at least in his answer, that had nothing to do with the moral element that a lot of Catholics and a lot of Christians are talking about, which is is there any connection to abortion in the process of producing or investigating and researching for the vaccine. It had everything, however, to do with being suspicious of the fact that it was all done very quickly and that the pandemic itself was very virulent and very unexpected.
And we know the Holy Father is for everybody getting vaccines. Tell us briefly about the Mass at Slovakia's national shrine. Why was it significant?
It was a lovely image and a lovely way for Pope Francis to finish this trip. We have been seeing a Pope who, in his own words, felt caged in the past 18 months because of COVID, because of being unable to talk with the people and to actually interact with the faithful, which is where we see Pope Francis at his happiest. So seeing him having that sort of path of popularity of people was definitely a good way to close this story that I think was definitely a success.
All right, sounds good. Inez San Martin, Rome bureau chief at Crux. Thanks for updating us all week, and now go get some rest.
Thank you.
If you're watching Currents News on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the bell to get updates to all of our newest content, because we are putting your faith in the news.